60% of Americans could not come up with $1,000 for an emergency. People do not have emergency funds. Almost 70% of Americans say that money is their primary source of anxiety. Buy now, pay later services like Klarna and Afterpay are on the rise, and people are using them primarily on Instacart and DoorDash for groceries. People are using payment plans for food. 1 in 4 Americans have saved nothing for retirement. Auto loan debt, so for cars, has reached an all-time high. It's at $1.3 trillion. And credit card debt is also at an all-time high. So when most Americans are sharing the same economic struggles, is it still just user error? Is the answer still work harder, or just budget, or pull yourself up by your bootstrap? Or can we actually listen to the trends and patterns for once and realize that this is entirely systemic?
I just need somebody else to tell me that they're living paycheck to paycheck and putting themselves into credit card debt out of necessity, not because of fun. I am 28 years old. I work a decent paying job. I love my job. I make good income. We have no kids, me and my fiance, and we're still barely scraping by. Our bills are paid, but we can't save any money. We can't go on vacation. I mean, we do little things here and there, but realistically, we don't really do anything. And we still live paycheck to paycheck, okay? I don't understand how people with kids are doing this. Props to y'all. I mean, seriously, the utmost respect, because I feel like I'm drowning and I only have cats. Any money that we're able to save ends up getting spent on the car, or the cat has to go to the vet, or one of us has a medical emergency. Like, it's just gone. It's gone. I don't understand. We don't live beyond our means. Are we all just collectively putting ourselves into debt because I don't know what else to do?
We will never have affordable housing in this country again because people have built their wealth on real estate. People will need to lose their homes, lose their investments, lose value in the homes in order for us to have affordable housing. And this is a rough conversation to have because we all have friends who have invested in real estate. Our parents own homes. Our grandparents own homes. We're all being taught to build wealth through real estate, but that directly leads to the housing crisis that we have already arrived at, that we've been at for over a decade. I remember growing up seeing Fox News talking about class warfare, but it's like, we working class people, the ones who are the have-nots, we did not ask for class warfare. We asked for our fair share. You took it all. So now if we have to take it back, like, yeah, that might lead to some class warfare. But really, whose fault was that? Like, whose fault was that? And it's not even the people who wanted to invest in real estate. Like, why is there no government national housing option for people who just want a $90,000, $100,000 home? And you might be saying, oh, that's a shack. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. The cost of materials to build a home, the land to build a home, not that expensive in a lot of places. In a lot of places it is. But like, we have to be honest about this. Like, when we're all talking about like, yeah, let's like build wealth and build triplexes and rent out things, like, you want to be a landlord? You want to hoard land when you know people can't afford housing, when there's homeless people everywhere? Like, I understand. Like, we're worried. We don't have generational wealth to pass on. For sure. But we will be adding to the problem by continuing to invest in real estate. This whole country, most of the wealth in this country is built off of investing in real estate and starting businesses that then sell for like millions, billions. Affordable housing will bring down the prices of everyone's houses. So that's what's gonna need to happen.
Boomers want to know what it's like being young in 2025? Here it is. I just got off an 8-hour shift at work where I make double minimum wage in my state. I hop in my car, check my banking app. Cool, I've got $50 to last me till next week. Then I remember, oh shit, I have to run to Walmart because the wire in my bra snapped. I don't have underwear because it keeps going missing. My eyelash curler broke, and I have no food. I bought 4 things. 4 fucking things, and it came out to $40! I'm living off granola bars. But I hop my depressed ass back in my car, and I look at my banking app again. Oh, cool, I've got $10 now to last me till next week. I try to drive, but my car keeps misfiring. I can't afford to fix that. So I keep on parking, turning off my car, turning it back on, until it decides to act right. 30 minutes later, I'm finally heading home to my 4 roommates. I pay $8.50 a month. Now give him, that's everything included. But $8.50 a month with 4 roommates! Remember back in the good old days when a man could afford to feed, raise, house his family on minimum wage? And he had a second family on the side who he also housed, fed, and raised. You know what I say to all that? Fuck you! You guys had it so fucking easy and then you destroyed everything behind you! Fuck you!
Okay, so I'm just checking. We're all unable to buy a house right now, right? Like, I'm not the only one who runs the numbers every single day and looks at the budget and is just like, there is no way on earth that this is potentially feasible for me. Like, I'm working with two very average incomes. They're not great incomes, but they're fine incomes. Incomes that 10 years ago probably would have meant that we could buy a house. I digress. Anyway, we pay rent so that we can live somewhere, because when we got out of college, we had to rent so we could theoretically save money to eventually buy a home. Except rent is so astronomical that we are actually not able to save for a home. Even still though, like, we don't pay as much in rent as I know other people do. We don't live in a huge city. It's somewhat affordable, even though I still think it's ridiculous. Compared to other people, it's still affordable. Okay, so subtracting that from what we bring home a month, like, yeah, there's still some money left. Except that somehow, no matter what I do, because we've cut back on everything, we've cut back on groceries, eating out, we haven't actually traveled in a while. I have a freaking coffee machine at home, so I don't buy coffee out of the house. I will admit that we do get avocados, but we do get them from Costco, so it's less expensive. We both work from home, so we shouldn't be paying that much for gas, but yet somehow we are. I'm going through my credit card statement at the end of every month, and I'm literally spending $20 here and there. Like, there are no big purchases on this credit card, but the groceries are killing us. But we also have to eat. We can't not eat. We need to put gas in the car because sometimes we do have to go places. But like, I can't figure out where this is coming from. Like, we're not huge shoppers. We eat at home most of the time. Compared to other people my age, we do not spend money on alcohol or drugs. I don't freaking Uber Eats or Grubhub or anything. And I don't want to sound ungrateful because at the end of the month, we are able to save something, right? But it's not nearly enough to save up for a down payment on a freaking house. And if we did decide to go that route, it would take us, I calculated it, like 12 years of just doing absolutely nothing with our lives, like just staying at home, doing nothing. And I'm not willing to spend the next 12 years completely restricting myself for the dream, the possibility of a dream of getting to buy a home. Like, these are the best years of my life. I want to live them. And even if we did that and we saved for 12 years and we put a down payment on a house, we could not afford a nice one. Our mortgage would still cost more than my rent currently. So I'd essentially be paying more for a shittier living situation than I have now. And I feel like everyone's in this situation. And so my question is, like, if we have babies, which it seems a lot of us are not willing to do that right now, which I totally understand. So if we have them, like, I feel like we're just gonna see children raised in like communal living more. More families are gonna have to make do with smaller spaces. And I think we're just gonna see that because people acclimate, people are flexible. Because I'm genuinely not seeing a way to get this done without like completely derailing my life. Because I gotta keep paying bills, I gotta keep paying rent, I gotta keep eating, I gotta keep going places. And if I'm doing that, I just can't save that much money on the side. I love it here. I love it here so much.
The housing market has become so unaffordable for most Americans over the past 4 years, and I want to show you what happened. In February of 2020, the average house in this country was $275,000. If you put a 10% down payment and got a 3.52% interest rate, your principal and interest was $1,114 plus $500 for property tax and insurance, puts your payment out the door at $1,614. The average American only needed about $50,000 in a salary with very little debt to qualify for the average home in America. That was awesome, the American dream. Now in February of 2022, the average home went up to about $350,000. 10% down, but the interest rates were still 3.73%. So principal and interest was $1,455 plus about $600 for property tax and homeowner insurance. Put your payment out the door at $2,055. So you needed about $65,000 in a salary with very little debt to qualify. Still very doable. Now let's fast forward to current day, February 2024. Home prices have shot up to $415,000, 10% down payment. Interest rates are 6.75%, $2,423 principal and interest, $700 for property tax and homeowners insurance. Now you're looking at $3,123. So now you need about $95,000 to qualify if you have very little debt. So if you look at the down payments over the year, it's gone up only about $15,000, which is a lot, but also doable in 4 years. But what really pinched Americans is how many individuals went from $50,000 to almost $100,000 in salary in just 4 years. That's why so many Americans can't afford a home right now.
Yo, I'm never gonna own a house. I just accepted it. It is what it is. I'm not gonna have a home. I was back in New York talking to my pops. I said, yo, Pop, how much you pay for the house we grew up in Brooklyn? He bought the house in '96. And it's a decent house. It's not really big. It's whatever. It's like a middle class, like 2-story, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. House was $150K. Crazy, right? Now, here's the next part. I say, yo, how much you had to put down for the 150? They had a deal for like first-time homeowners in New York City in the 90s. 3% is what you had to put down. I'm like, trying to do the math. He just stopped me. He said, yo, $4,500. This man paid $4,500 for an entire home in 1996. Like, yeah, I'm not going to own a home. Like, what? If that was happening, so my pops at 31 and me at 31, he not going band for band with me. You know what I'm saying? He can't see me, but he got a house though. And I tell you this, I'm never going to have that. It's not going to happen.
America is never going to have affordable housing again, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people in America want and need real estate prices to stay high. And let's start with the previous generation. A lot of people purchased their property for $50,000, and now they've seen it rise in value to $600,000 or $700,000, and that's a lot of money. And if we started developing it like we did in the 1960s, we would see real estate prices go down, and thus their retirement would be in jeopardy. Local governments don't want this to happen either, because lower property values means lower property taxes, and lower property taxes means less revenue for them to spend. A country with ubiquitous affordable housing wouldn't need a mortgage market, and thus the banks would lose one of their major revenue sources if we ever started to have affordable housing in America. If we had affordable housing and American families could go back to being single income households, corporate America would lose half of their workers, wages would have to go up, and the IRS would lose a good portion of their tax base. So what are these vested interests doing to keep us from building affordable housing, and how much of an impact is it actually having on us? It's not that it's particularly hard to build affordable housing. Here's a study from the 1960s from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics on how many work hours it took to build this typical single-family house with 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Using construction methods from the last century, it would take a little over 1,000 work hours to complete the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family house in the 1960s. If we were to assume modern labor costs of $60,000 per year, you would have a total labor cost of $30,000 to complete a 1960s style house if you were to do so today. Yet the average price for a home in America today is $430,000, so something's not adding up. But what about the material costs? Well, the materials that we use to build houses today are cheaper and less robust than what we used in the 1960s. So maybe you're thinking that the reason houses are more expensive today is that the land costs more and we're building bigger houses than we did in the past. And you're absolutely right. But why is that? It is so hard to get approval for a buildable lot in America that when we do get these approvals, we have to put the biggest, most expensive houses on there to make the development make sense. Imagine if the government put restrictions on the number of cars that could be produced every single year. You would see car manufacturers put an emphasis on the most expensive, most profitable models and not worry about entry-level cars. And this is exactly what's happened in the American real estate market. It's why for $250,000, you can purchase an entire estate in our West African developments, but you can't even purchase a condo in most areas of America for that same $250,000. And this is going to be a big problem for business going forward because we have an entire generation that has to put up to 40% of their income into paying for a mortgage or paying for rent, which means that our consumer base is going to have a lot less money going forward, and that's not good for anyone. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that America was right to start restricting property development because of overdevelopment concerns? Or should we open things up and allow for us to build houses like we did in the 1960s? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. And as always, if this video provided value to you, give me a like and a follow. That really helps out my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video.
Give up to buy a house. You should be trying to buy a house. You're almost 30. You should own your own house. I don't think I'm ever going to buy a house. Not only can I not afford it, but also I don't want it. I don't want a house because that means that I got to stay in that place. I am not a stayer. I am a leaver. I am someone who, as soon as they want, they're going to get up and leave. I don't like staying put. I don't want to have to own a home. I don't care if I could sell it and make more money from it. I don't care if I could turn it into an Airbnb. Airbnb is a dying business right now. Hotels are cheaper at this point. Homes are so fucking expensive in retrospect of things. I have a very nice apartment that includes my pool and my hot tub and my gym. Already 3 things that I don't have to pay extra for. Oh, but you can't make an apartment feel like home. The fuck I can. But you can't hang things on the wall.
The fuck I can't. The reason that I like living in apartments is because if my AC goes out, legally they're required to fix it depending on what temperature it is outside. Like I think if it's over 85 or 90, they have to fix it within the day or provide me accommodation. Want to know what happens if my AC goes out and I own my home? I'm going to Walmart and getting some box fans because I can't afford $10,000. And someone said, oh, well, if you have homeowner's insurance, then that covers it. No, the fuck it does not. Homeowner's insurance would cover something like that if there was like a huge storm, an unexpected storm, and it destroyed the AC. But if it's going out because of age, that does not get covered. If it starts leaking from my roof here, yeah, they're gonna have to fix it here or get me a new place. If my roof starts leaking and I own the home, I have to fix it or pay someone to do it. And it's gonna be so much fucking money. And then people were like, oh, but the security deposit is so much more money, blah, blah, blah. First off, a security deposit is not that much money. I paid $99 for my security deposit a year. At my old apartment complex, I think I paid, it was either like $300 or $400. And wanna know what? If I plug all these holes when I leave, I get that money back. I get the money back. But it's so much money to move every year. How? How do you think it's so much money to move every year? Last year I rented, or this apartment I rented a U-Haul. Last year I didn't. I literally just put everything in my car and my friend's truck. I think the U-Haul cost me $30 total. Plus I'm only signing up for apartments that have specials going on. 2 months off rent, I'm going to you as opposed to the place that has 1 month off rent, as long as y'all got everything that I'm looking for. I find nicer apartments, like this one's $16.50 a month, but I end up paying 14 something because I got it with 2 months off rent. Don't even fucking get me started on HOAs. Fuck that. Big old fuck that. Anyway, I will be living in apartments until the day I die.